Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our session zero of the RPG, the actual play on the HappyJacks RPG network. To find all sessions of this game that will be going on, please visit happyjacks.org/. When I get the real name, I'll put it down for there and I'll let you know. And to find out all of the shows on the HappyJacks RPG network, please visit happyjacks.org. I am Lloyd. I'll be your GM for today, and I'm joined by four lovely people who will gladly take me through all of this when things go through. Starting off with, from my left, but probably not the left on the actual stream, thinking about it. Jason, please introduce yourself. Oh, no problem. In that case, I'll go to the next person. Vixie, please introduce yourself.
Hello. I was really hoping not to go first, and yet the curse continues. Hi, hi everybody. My name is Vix Bell. I'm your friendly neighborhood player here at the Happy Jacks table. I'm excited to play this game. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's pretty much me. I have no idea what I'm doing, what I'm playing yet. Everything is all at one giant question mark. So I'm looking forward to turning that into an object of some kind, preferably some kind of dice.
All right. And then we'll go on to the third person, being Sam.
I am Sam DeLev. I'm a role-playing performer, variety streamer, and science communicator about the space. I am not a goose. That is gander slander, but I'm very much looking forward to die RPG.
And finally, but not last but not least, we'll go on to Noir.
Hi, everybody. I'm Noir. I go by he, they. You can find me all over the internet as thenoirenigma, and I am very excited to play this game. I've been reading the comic. I'm addicted to it, and so I can't wait to bring it to the table.
Fantastic. So,
And
everyone,
I am in fact a goose.
Oh, snap. I forgot. I was so locked in. I was like, oh crap, I forgot someone.
It's all good. I forgot to add my microphone as an input. Hi everyone, I'm Jason. I've played on a few games here at Happy Jacks. I like doing that, and I'm just like web slinging people in to play with us. This is great. So you are all trapped here now.
Oh no.
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. And now it's on. All right. Sorry to interrupt, Lloyd.
Oh, good. All right. To be honest, I forgot you. Anything else? Okay, so give me a minute to get my nervous nerves out.
Shake them out.
It didn't work. Oh, shake him out. Shake him out. Enter the mind space. Die RPG. Quite a few years back, Kieran Gillen and a lovely artist got together and came up with a set of comics about a bunch of kids who traveled to their favorite fantasy world, returned, and then found themselves going back to that world to see the destruction that they had wrought. We were playing our own version of that in the Die RPG. Us as players and me as the GM, aka the master for this world, have come back together after not playing together for quite a few years. And as we've got back together and we're going to start the game again, we find ourselves transported into the world and all the consequences that come with it. Questions will be asked about our backgrounds, our stories, our lives, what's created us, what's defined us, what has brought us to this stage. And finally, at the very end, is it worth it at the end of it all? We did a mini session zero at the back where we went through our lines and veils. But for those of you who need to know, we have the lines and veils at the back of everything else happening. We will be using the safety tools of the script change, of a very smaller script change of fast forward pausing. We'll be using the X card as classic. We'll be using the raised hand mechanic, but also we'll be using the hands mechanic, specifically for when there are any kind of conflicts between players. All of this will be done off camera as the players will know how it works and everything goes through there. So there won't be anything on the screen, but I may be referencing them if they do come up throughout the thing, and I'll let you know if something comes up that's important. Also to share to the players as well. But as far as I'm concerned, we are basically ready to start. So let's start up by creating our personas. After creating our personas, we'll then decide what playbooks. I like to use the word playbooks, but it's not the word they use in there, but they use the word paragon, so I'll use that. We'll decide our personas, then we'll decide our paragons from there. And then when that's finished and over and done, after session 0 is over, we will then go on to session 1, jump into the world, and then play through as it goes. That aside, is everyone okay with this so far?
Yes, Chef.
Absolutely.
That fantastic. In that case, let's begin from the top. So we're going to now create personas. This is how we have our people, our real life people who are thrown into the world. So everything about us starts from up here. And there are various like persona style playbooks that like help summarize how people got together and everything else. To do this one, since we're playing the simple version of Die, we'll be using the reunited worksheets to set up and go through everything we need to go through. So I'll be asking a few questions, figuring out what we need to know, and everything's going down. But for those of you who need to be in the know on how it works, you all used to play fantasy role-playing games together as teenagers at school. Now, years down the line, you're all back in town for a school reunion, and I've decided to get together to play a game for old time's sake. Now, before this kicks in, you're supposed to have created your characters a little bit more, but I always feel I should ask the general question of what the world was like before we go into the actual big questions to make sure it's okay. So let's go with this. The first one is, why did your group as gamers get together for the first time to play? What drew you all to play role-playing games?
So random, but could we have met in like cooking club?
That also works, but you'd have to have a reason to be in the cooking club, whatever you were there
Oh, right.
for.
Then there's a whole other layer of that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
So essentially,
It
these
was,
set the layers for when you make your personas. Yes, Fixie?
Sorry, I should have raised my hand before talking with people. My bad.
Oh, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I was just saying, like, what if it was a school club, but it was like a club for ttrpgs, or kind of like how you have the clubs specific that are hyper specific, like the anime club or the ttrpg club that everyone's like, oh, all the nerds go there, kind of that vibe.
Okay.
And that was how we ended up meeting up.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So just to put in perspective, your school, I just realized something. Technically, if we set this to whatever age you are, it depends on what year you're in and how cool TTRPGs were back then. Because like if it's the 80s, they weren't that cool. But
Yeah.
if the 90s were like, actually, you know what? I'm kind of into it. So I guess I kind of just put it down for that. We should probably establish year first for anything else.
Yeah.
When are we? Where are we?
Yeah. Was it the 1900s?
What kind of school is this anyway?
Yeah,
right?
let's start with that, because answering this question might be starting with that first. When do we want to set it? When do we want to play around? Do we want to go Stranger Things 80s and we're all like the game plays 90s? So whatever time we set it, it's a few years later and we can change it to suit what we need.
So for me personally, I was a teenager in the early 90s in real life. So
God, you're
if we
old, son.
set it in the 90s, I will be able to operate somewhat as an expert. But I'm happy to have it be whenever, but I am not region expert, era expert.
I would just like to ask, can we not do Stranger Things era, because I hate that show with a vicious passion.
Okay.
I feel that's the reason why we should definitely do that era.
Yeah,
like, I feel
easily-
like we should hammer that
easily
down.
avoided.
Really get to why you hate that era.
I just want to play in an era when I was alive.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. Well, why don't
I'm
we-
playing in someone's nostalgia is rough for me. I was a teenager in the 2000s, so I can be mildly backwards compatible to the 90s, but that is my temporal region expertise.
Well, one of the very easy ways to work out is by music and what music want to flavor what we do. Because we do 80s, you've got like, you start with your Madonna, you end with your Duran Duran. If we
Right.
do 90s, you start with Kurt Cobain, you end with your, I don't know, freaking Marilyn Manson if you really want to. If you go noughties, you kind of start with Eminem and then you end with like S Club 7 or something like that. That's the kind of music style an ideal of what was going on between that
When,
going through.
when did Daruda's Sandstorm come out?
90s.
I hate you, Jason.
90s.
I'm sorry.
Whatever you do, don't think of that song, okay? Whatever you do, don't.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So yeah, music is a very easy way for us to pick an idea. Sam, what were you thinking of year-wise and music-wise? So we could probably use that to help reference ourselves.
Oh, let's see. I'm going to popcorn that to Noir, who has a better handle on pop music than I. I was an opera kid in my teenage years. No one needs that.
What opera was released in the noughties? That was really popular with the kids. No, it wasn't. Okay, I tried. Let's pop it up to Noir. Noir, do you have any idea what you want to go for? Because like a music idea will help us really like phrase it down. Think about like all the movies you watched that try and hit nostalgia. They always play a certain song, right?
I got you. I want to play in the like the DMX mystical like Nelly time period of the 1999s to 2010 the 2010s kind of era where hip hop is having its boom. I'm gonna say this is like right around the end of the boy band era, so like the latest chart topper for a boy band would be NSYNC's Go, the album where we knew Justin was
So
leaving.
in that case,
Like-
we're thinking like McFly, Backstreet Boys, X gonna give it to you.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Instead of waiting for you to
the
get it
Black
on your
Album.
own, X will deliver it to you.
Look, that like naughties, like hip hop kind of like also stuff like Cut Chemist and DJ Shadow, and there's like a bunch of stuff there that is totally my shit.
We're
Eminem
talking
is also
about-
in that era for all
Mhm.
sins and purposes. You know,
Yep,
I mean, like
absolutely.
everyone had that hair painting for some reason. You know, it
Yeah.
works.
But we're
Okay,
talking
so
we're talking the Marshall Mathers LP era before the Slim Shady LP era. I'm gonna stop now.
So now we have like what we have now is essentially children of the millennium. The noughties have just arrived. Life's a little bit different. Hang on, I gotta double check our lines and veils as I say this. Hang on.
Oh yeah, Chemical Brothers as well. Yeah.
I'm over here thinking Backstreet Boys, you know,
Yeah,
because they have a Millennium album, but
I'd
that's
like to remind you all that technically the world is also a lot
Backstreet's
darker
back. All right.
because 9/11 happened.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to
Uh,
double check in the lines and veils to make sure it was okay to say, but 9/11 also happened. So now we have this whole like, is the world starting to change? You're like, everything you learn about the world is going off. TV has stopped making all villains like Russian and they're making them all terrorists. Everything is coming in for that. That's the era we're looking at the moment. So keep that in mind when you're reflecting what you're doing. There's a little bit more fear about how the world works. We don't really know what's going on. Military recruitment is on an all-time high because they're like, we got to get those people over there. It's all happening with that, and it's influenced where you go. I know a lot of people who grew up in that era who are like, yeah, we were like told this is the only way forward, this is where to push it. So that's what we're looking at for that. So with that in mind, what did your ttrpg group look like? Yes, Lipsy?
For the record, I'm fine with this era. I didn't actually get to answer that question. But I'm willing to roll with it. So
Can I ask you what your preference would be? Because you might end up like wanting to do something that would be better.
honestly, like both of the suggestions were great. I really liked the 90s era because I grew up in that era as well. But the early 2000s is also really good. I think being in an era where we're sort of in that kind of transition and we don't necessarily have things like super modern technologies like TikTok and all of these technologies that we have today, keeps it from being too OP, let's put it, you know?
Makes sense.
Okay,
And also,
yeah.
this is the era that you grew up in. It will jump a few years. It's a little bit
Right.
later, but it means that it influences your childhood and what the world looked like when you made your game. and also what I'm going to look like when you made your game. Is everyone okay with the Naughties era?
Yep. Also, for reference, everybody, iPhone came out in 2006, iPad 2008, I think. So
No, we had we had also BlackBerry though, BlackBerry Network, baby,
That's
BBN,
true.
let's go.
BlackBerry is
I had a
something.
Let's
BlackBerry
go.
because I was a grown ass adult at work in 2006.
I had the Helio Drift, kids. Look it up.
I do want to ask
All
when
right.
edition came out, because we were talking about this era in terms of like how cool TTRPGs were, right?
2014.
So yeah, so I was like, how cool would TTRPGs be? Like, where and the coolness factor? Like, is it just becoming an emergent hobby?
It's coming up. It's starting to
Yeah.
build up. People
No.
are starting to get really interested in it.
This
People are
is a
really
topic
focused.
hotly debated all over the internet, but I think 4th edition brought a lot of people into the hobby, right? Whatever you want to say about 4th edition.
This was before 4th edition.
Okay.
This is 3rd edition.
This is
So
3.5.
people are like, oh, what is this? What's going on? I don't understand. The Satanic Panic era is kind of starting to fade back. People getting a bit more interested in
Yeah.
it.
I need a
The
spreadsheet
first
to make a
D&D
character.
movie releases. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We have this whole thing coming through, making sure it's okay. Just a heads up. I'm just double checking this. Everyone okay with this so far?
Yes, Jeff.
All right, fantastic. So with that in mind, let's go on with. So basically, what was the question again? I just had it. How did your group get together? And it'll be followed by what is the school like?
Well, it sounds like we wanted to do like Vixie, you had said the RPG club at school,
Yeah.
right?
Like a TTRPG club at school. And I'm only using D&D as the framework. I know there's like a bazillion TTRPGs out there. It's just that the household name is D&D, so it's like
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
fine.
But yeah, some kind of like a club dedicated to that. Like the niche hobby club that a lot of people are like, kind of like how you have like oh, only the nerdy kids go there, only a specific archetype of individual is in this club.
Yep.
The immediate thing was like, oh, the drama kids, goth kids, all that.
Yeah.
Who joined enthusiastically? Who
Mm.
joined because they really want to play D&D?
Oh,
You know what? I
That's a
like
good
that.
question.
Like it was everyone wanted to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, we might have
Everyone-
some tag along of like, oh, I'm here because they're here. But like, even knowing that if you are a tag along, to whom you were tagged.
Right. Or I joined because so and so's hot and like
Right. So who here is here because they wanted to play D&D?
I think my character would have joined enthusiastically. Like if this is a niche hobby for them, this is a special interest, they will just go off for decades on, rules and all that good stuff.
I want to toss out an idea that
Mhm.
Hit me.
that might feel bad, right? So that's okay if we don't like it. I like
Okay.
the idea of coming in as like the jock theater kid, like track star jock, not football, right?
I
Like,
was literally thinking of playing a track athlete.
Why don't you both be it?
yeah,
Genuinely
Double-
track.
yeah.
I'm
Like,
over
Double
Sam-
track, double the fun, right?
what if you're the track athlete who's like super into it and got me to join? And I was like, whatever. And then I got super into it, but I didn't want all my other friends to know about it and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay,
That
That
cool.
makes sense. I like it.
Top
Let's
lover.
keep those together. Okay. I feel like we've got enough about the club.
Well,
Now
wait,
the
how did
second-
Noir join?
So what's your name,
Oh.
love?
How did you get in here?
Can I be the kid that started the RPG club? Like,
Why not? Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, then yeah, I and also I have one other question. Can the RPG club be kind of new? Like I had to get so many people to sign on for it to be a thing.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it had to have been new. You started it, meaning it wasn't pre-existing.
yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I was the fourth signature, and
Yeah.
that's it. Like Sam got me to sign up.
if you don't sign, then none of us can play. Like, just come along for one thing, just so we can have the
Fine.
club, and then we'll find someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All
Awesome.
right. So with that in mind, this prompt us to do one by one each person's questions. So
Mhm.
I will go individually. One person's supposed to answer, but everyone can chime in. So I'm gonna start the other way around. I'm gonna start with Sam. Sam is okay with you?
Yes, absolutely.
Sam, what was the school like?
The school is not historically the best funded in its area, but it just got a little bit of school district attention. We just got a little flush of funds, which is maybe why there are more extracurriculars than there used to be.
Do we know
Oh.
what part of the world we're in? Does that matter?
I assumed
We haven't
Mars.
established that yet. We can always choose to establish it at a point.
So, yeah, we don't have a ton of programs or a ton of infrastructure. Like, we've started a few new things, but we didn't previously have a whole lot of nice things. Like, I don't know how old this track program is, frankly.
Sure.
Because, like, field takes a lot of equipment.
Yep. It
That's
does.
pricey. Like,
Well,
having an orchestra with, like, instruments and stuff is pricey.
well, what's restarted the area? What started this whole thing? Because like you're like allowing programs to come up. There's a new role play program coming up. The track is going forward. Is that an influx of like attention is bringing money? Is there anything that happened that made it happen? Yes, Vixie.
May I make a pitch here? Just because we talked about the school getting extra funding. And I don't know if this is how it works in other states, but in our states, there's a grading system for schools. So you can, and like if you get an A rating, you actually can get extra funding for the school and the school programs. So maybe something similar to that happened. Like the school like scored super high on its rating, and so they got more funding for their programs, and that's how we could afford it.
What determines the rating?
Mhm.
What determines the rating? Like, what gets you A rated? Is it
Test
just like,
scores. It's really like, well, in real life, it's test scores. It's how well people do on standardized testing. Out here, it's like on the FCAT and stuff like that. But yeah,
Maybe sports performance is factored in as well.
true. Which that was my next point, is like all that funding could have gone to sports, and there was stuff left over, and that kind of went into like niche programs like the RPG club.
They wouldn't need much money. They're like, well, we need to buy some books. They're like, yeah, sure, we'll just get it through. I'm about to say Libby, but that wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
We'll get it through the library or something to go through. Well, on that subject, could it be...
Noir's character owns all the books. Who are we kidding?
Make no mistake, they own all the books, but also, well, on that statement, could it does it have to be the new, could it be like the upgraded people who are going off that had a good grades? Or could it be like, no, I guess it would be higher up, right? Or would it be, it's overall grades that matter for that? For what the school's rating is?
well, we're in a pre-test scores era in the US. That's 2003, No Child Left Behind.
Mhm.
So we would presumably be rated on some sort of subjective, like, we had good or bad vibes. Maybe they kind of used the test scores, or maybe we were like a little pilot fishbowl for using test scores as like imperial based metrics. So they also just kind of chucked a bit of money at us about it.
To throw one more thing in, there is a third option for any player to pick, including myself. I wanted to. Could there just be like a star pupil, like someone who did something really good that was nationally seen? That's why you've done that. Put your hand down, Noir. Put your hand down. Put your hand down. Could that be a... You can put your hand down. I was joking. Go for it.
I was gonna. Somebody mentioned something in chat, and I wanted to float how we felt about it as a possible thing to consider.
Yeah,
but
go for it.
how would we feel about this being a military academy? It was interesting. I just wanted to see how we would take it. But
what do we feel about that?
Well, if it's in the US, that is a very distinct flavor. right?
Yeah.
Versus another country's
Versus
military
anywhere else in
academy.
the world.
I have minimal touchstones irrespective of where it is. I have been to a non-military academy high school. I have not been to like a military academy high school.
So
Yeah,
So I could LARP it, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't personally know a ton of what to do with that. I'm more familiar with public schools, and I worked at a private school, so like I have experience there. But
I was in ROTC, which is the only reason I was just like, I
sure,
can
yeah,
that but I just wanted to put that out there because I was just like, that might be tasty.
Let's
It
put
depends
it on.
on like the world setting, I think, if it comes to a military academy, because like my experiences with public school as well, like real life, but there's 1,001 animes and shows about like various military academies fighting aliens, fighting whatever bad guy is scripted in. So I wouldn't be totally against it. I would just be kind of, I don't know, for what we're building, it would be interesting to see how what we've built so far fits into that sort of land.
I like the juxtaposition of military academy and D&D.
Well,
It fits. It feels nice.
well, let's consider it. Do we want it to be a military school? Because this is the time to decide.
yeah. I'm not opposed.
I hear not opposed.
I'd like to pitch a compromise.
Mhm.
Hit me for compromise. Hit me.
While it might not be a full military academy, I think it might be interesting to have it being a school with a military presence, in the sense that there is a fleshed out and robust ROTC program, and it's
Little JROTC
Yeah,
thing.
I was thinking the same thing, Noir.
Yeah, if we're like in a boot camp town, that's a huge influence.
Yeah, I think that it being a school that like maybe is a public school but has a strong ROTC presence, has military recruiters coming regularly, and is very much like they have a very strong affiliation or relationship.
Yeah, I could do something with military base nearby kind of thing, just like it's that kind of town.
Yeah,
I think that's fair because the one thing I know about military schools is that aren't they supposed to be very much like we're getting you there to learn discipline.
yes, that's often the vibe.
So if we went full military, it'd be like a good portion of the people there would be problem kids,
Yeah,
which is like my inversion for I don't listen to what mommy and daddy told me, to actual problem kid. That's the grading, and
Yeah.
that's what will come for that. But if it's like an what's it said? ROC?
ROTC.
It was ROTC where there's a big military base next to you, and all, like that would be very important because like all the parents would be military. You'd be the children from those people coming in, and there'll be like an incentive to be like, yeah, train, get to it. This is what your life could be. We want to keep you in a military family. I think I like that. We go with that. So how about that? How about a school in a military based town with a very huge incentive for military like careers onward.
It's a company town, and the military is the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's great. Let's establish that. That is where it is. So is it a shithole?
It's
Is
a good
it
thing the
good?
military base is there.
Is it a good school? Remember, you just that would work because your big funding
Mhm.
outside of it being a star pupil would be a military base just got built there. They're like, hi,
Yeah.
we're sending our kids in here. Get it done.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the early 2000s, an expansion of military funding.
Makes
Yes, this
sense.
tracks.
Yes.
Yeah, this tracks very well. Yeah, this
Yeah.
tracks very well. All right. See, we're making it work. We're making the magic work. All right. Okay, that was a Sam question. Let's jump up to you, Vixie. Vixie, I have to
Hi.
ask you a personal question for both me and you, so bear with me. My persona ran the game. What was the name of the fantasy world where the game was set?
Oh, great. I got the hard question.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. No pressure, Vixie, but your answer is also going to decide the episode, what's called the name of the whole show, and also how it all works, and also what kind of world we're playing in, and also
Where's
everything.
the
Good
gift
luck.
of Sweating.
Easy.
Don't worry, you got this. You got this. I think you
gosh.
got this. Anyone else can
I
chime in if
really
they want to, but I think you got this.
I'm not going to say Narnia because my brain immediately was like Narnia, and I was like, no, that already exists. That's copywritten. Stop it. Geez. Let's see. So like I think the world that we played in was definitely, it was a homebrew world. That was definitely, it was very fantastical. Depending on which version of D&D we're playing, because I believe some of the earlier versions were very much grimdark, like much more grimdark in vibe. They're before my time. I didn't play that. I started with 5th edition, but that was what I gathered from people who have played the earlier editions. So I think something kind of gothic would be
Ooh.
the vibe that I'm thinking, like a kind of a gothic vibe-ish name. Jason, I see you. Are you
Jason?
pitching
I
something?
mean, if it's homebrew and Noir made it, and Noirnia is just there.
Noirnia?
Oh no,
I thought Lloyd made it.
no,
Oh.
Lloyd made it. I just started the club. We are not.
I'm
Yeah,
dying.
listen to me.
First Norval, now Nornia.
No, we are not doing.
I don't think we should use that. I just had to say it, and I wanted credit for saying it.
Thank
So-
you for listening to the RPG podcast today. My name is Lloyd. How you doing? And,
Oh my god.
Lloyd, I don't know if you were warned about me, but here we are.
I'm dying. I can't.
Oh.
I'm definitely gonna cheat. Let's see.
oh,
I'm just sitting here enthusiastic for the world of Narnia.
No,
I'm bought in.
I will fight you both.
if you want to do Noirnia, I'm in. I mean, you know me. I oh Lord.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, and as a representative of Happy Jacks RPG, I have to dissuade us from established IPs, but that's
All
So
right,
we have to stay out of the
okay,
Noirs,
okay.
but I do have a name. I did come up with a name. I decided that the name of this place is Raelis. I'm gonna spell it in the chat.
Really?
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
a good name.
that's because I used a world generator because I don't do names fast.
Does it have a tag? Like Raelis, the fantastical universe of cheesemongering. I don't know.
Like now I have to come up with a log line for this movie. Great, this is fun.
The Gathering.
You don't have to
Okay.
like so basically over here we established what was the general theme of my world. Vixie, you don't have to do this on your own, just a heads up. But we established what Raelis was about. Like this is like the over arc. Pretend my like teenage self understood story arcs.
Okay.
And was trying to tell kind of an overarching story. So what would the tagline be for this?
I'm
a world
thinking.
at war.
Oh, that's a good one. Especially because we're in a military school, like military affiliated school.
Oh yeah.
Oh, do we want to really like well would I have been like a military kid who's like, yeah, I'm like all in on military? So
Either you're a military kid or you're a townie.
yeah, true, you're right.
Or-
One or
Those
the
are
other,
our options.
But
just
like
imagining, like,
or
a
maybe I'm a
40K
townie who
setting
went
now.
to the military. Sorry, Vixie, go on, please. I'll
Oh
stop
no, I
you.
say I'm just imagining like a 40K setting because you're a military kid. So like no.
I
Please
see where you're
continue.
going with this. Okay, fine. With this in mind, do you want the world at war for Raelis? Or do you want something a bit more smooth? Please remember that we chose dark fantasy for the theme, so just keep that in mind when we're making this.
Kind of like because we did choose dark fantasy, and the first thing I think of is the Dark Cauldron, which is one of my favorite dark fantasy films. But as far as log lines go, why don't we let's see. Why don't we choose I mean, I will pitch this. If someone else wants to add or change, please feel free to do so. Raelis, a world of magic and mystery.
Sure.
I like it because it's Raelis Eminem.
It's a
Or-
very unique flavor of M&Ms.
Redless ma'am.
So that would suggest that the arc of the game we played was solving a mystery about the set. Like On the one hand, we were talking about a world at war, in which case the arc was clearly an action-driven thing. Magic and mystery, we solved a mystery. What kind of campaign do we want to have played? Wow, that was tense.
Well, one pitch is to combine these things is like if you're playing a big, like a world at war, let's say, and the party is not playing Warhammer 40K, right? With like we're playing 4 or 5 people in a game. It might be that we are, been recruited to go behind enemy lines and do the sneaky thing that the rest of the battalion can't do. And so World at War, Magic and Mystery, like all of that. Wamam.
Who started the war?
Just a heads up before we go on, are we definitely sticking war in?
Like, are we doing World at War and Magic and Mystery, or are we doing one or the other?
That
Or
was
doing
just a pitch
war of Magic and Mystery.
of how we could sew those together. That they don't have to be mutually exclusive, but it also could be too much, and that's fine. It won't hurt my feelings.
A World of
keep
War,
in mind,
Magic
everyone,
and
that
Mystery
that
wouldn't be. I wouldn't be
sorry,
opposed to
I do apologize, Vixie. I spoke over you again because I'm a bitch. So if you could go over that one more time for me, thank you.
I apologize because I'll think out loud, and
It was not you. You are not
Okay.
to blame here. You're good.
my
Please.
stinking brain does that sometimes. Okay, so I was thinking like Raelis, a World of War, Magic and Mystery doesn't sound bad to me because it gives us kind of the option of all 3 of those things.
Well, how about we do it, Raelis, a war of Magic and Mystery?
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, the dang magic users were at war. Wizard wars are terrifying. I love that. That's great.
it.
Lloyd, you
Wizard
did a
war.
great. That's a fantastic campaign conceit. Let's go.
Whoa, man.
I like it. A wizard one to making, you being like both pawns and also instrumental in both going through it. Whether you ended the war or not, we can decide when we get there. We've already hit our points, if you know what I mean. Maybe you even started the war. We'll worry about that when the time comes. I just typed it out to type in the initials, and it's RWMM is what we have. And I'm like, I hate how good that looks. I hate it, but I also love it. All right, so
Or Raelis Womam.
thank you much for playing Happy RPG
Yep.
Podcast. My name is Lloyd. Have a great. Okay, so with that done, let's go on to the next question. Jason, how many years has it been since you all left school? So keep in mind the time frame and how much time we have to do stuff in.
So if we say 20, we're all in our 30s. Is that
Late 30s, but yes.
Is that a good round number, or is
I'm
that
fine with that.
too far?
I mean, it puts us in now.
Yeah.
So it works
With the
out.
kids and their TikToks.
Yep.
With the kids and the TikToks.
Where they're saying things like "I'm cooked," and we're like rice.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that has to get you feeling very steamed.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Can you explain to me what sticking out your gyat for the Rizzler means? I don't understand. What is that even? Why?
I'm on TikTok too much because I know what all of this means.
All I
Dang,
have to
Noir, you're
ask you,
so
Noir,
skibbity.
is, are you going for the chicken or do you jump for the beef?
I got that Ohio raise.
God.
I hate all of this. All right, 20 years later. So with this in mind, everyone, it's time for you all to come up with your personas' names.
More names.
And this
I know.
is the real
Dixie,
life
I'm
character.
sorry. Your real life character. This is your persona. This is
Okay.
who you were in school, how you
Okay.
came out. And after you got your name, at the most basic level, what did people think of you at school? You could have, remember, this is not what you were. This is what people thought of you. Because what you were is not relevant. It's what people saw you as when you were in school. So were you like an academic student? Were you a joker? Were you bully? Were you a jock? We've heard jock already. A wallflower, an elitist snob, a tech nerd, a hard case, or just plain creepy?
Hmm. All right, Jason, what track event or field event did you do? We can just do this by athlete stereotype.
Yeah. I want to do like,
are you a sprinter or are you distance?
yeah,
or are you field?
I was a distance in real life, so I want to be like high jump, triple jump, hurdles.
Ooh, all right.
So I can have long legs.
Are you good at it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you very good at it?
I think so. Like I'm not necessarily what's the youth Olympics called? Junior Olympics. Like it's like I went to a qualifier, not quite there, but was invited to try to qualify.
So you're showing up at state regularly.
Yes.
And like nationals is not out of the question with your
Yeah,
scores
like
last times?
maybe next year I'll go to nationals. Like that's a solid probability.
Got it. All right. Does anyone in school care? Do you think you are languishing in obscurity?
Yeah, I actually like the idea of track being popular, right? Of like because it sort of feeds into boot camp obstacle course, whatever. Like there's probably an obstacle course club, a parkour club, right?
Parkour.
Right, because they do that in the thing. They have little courses.
Yeah.
It's not the same as football. Like, where is it vis-a-vis football season? Because I think that tells us how popular it is or isn't in a military-based town.
Yeah, so track and field's in the spring, which
So
goes
spring
up
training.
against baseball, which you can usually do okay against high school baseball. So, yeah.
All right.
So I think
it sounds to me.
I think the character is popular, like, and that's kind of why he wasn't a first pick to join the club, right?
I know about popular.
Popular. Yeah, there it is.
That was a wicked reference to make. My goodness, how could you?
But they needed your signature, right, Jason?
Yeah. They need the signature, and like Sam's good at whatever they do. Sam, what are your events?
Let's see. I don't run in real life, so I'll do that.
Okay.
Actually, you know what?
Shot put.
F it. In roughly this era, in Maryland, there was an athlete called Tatiana McFadden.
Oh, I know.
She is a wheelchair racer, and her moms fought through legal hell to get her on the track team. I'm wheeling.
Wow. Nice. So you're a wheelchair racer?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. Also, just everybody, please know Tatiana McFadden. She's the GOAT.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that name before.
Probably from me.
Maybe, yeah.
I'd like to remind everyone that I am trying to put my dark fantasy head on when it comes to all of these.
Yeah, go for
it.
it.
And I'm going to start with just you being a wheelchair racer. I'm going to ask a question. Sure. Are you wheelchair bound?
I do use a wheelchair because that would be kind of messed up otherwise.
I know, but like, it could be one of those things whereby you have some movement or some mechanical, but also you prefer to go on a wheelchair or something. Like, it depends on what happened or what.
That ambulatory wheelchair users exist, but I definitely have a straight chair.
All right. With that in mind, when you play your character, are you wheelchair bound on the other side?
Wheelchair user. N no, because high schoolers aren't necessarily all there yet. In the like, I don't think I have fully you know, got my disability pride under me. Sure, let's go. We're leggies.
All right. I'm thinking about what it means for how I'm going to put it through. I'm making some notes. Please continue. Anyone else?
Oh, we're doing personas, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is like who we are in the real,
In the real world.
in the
In
real world. It's Inception situation.
Welcome to the realm of the real.
Who hasn't gone yet? I want to make sure.
I haven't gone yet, but you're free to go before me if you would like.
Okay.
I mean, no, we already know about you. We're like, you're on ball. We got you. So give us some of that.
Let's see. I was thinking persona-wise that this would be like the golden child. Like, it sounds like there's a transition happening in the town between the townies and the military folk. I'd like to think that before the base came here, I was already part of a military family, so like I'm kind of taking the role of the bridge of like, hey, no, like I already know how some of this works, and trying to get people to like acclimate, essentially. Like essentially they already bought into the propaganda bullshit because it was what they've been born with. So it's just like, no, guys, it's all right, it's cool.
So you're saying like you kind of really convinced a lot of people to like, look, I want us to work. Let's make it work together.
Yeah, we'll make it work. Like it. There's gonna be a lot of changes, but a lot more discipline and that sort of thing. But it's not all bad. Hey, look, I started an RPG club. To take the edge off.
On that matter, Noir, how come you start an RPG club, but someone else ran the games?
I liked RPGs. I don't believe in my abilities to run them. I am a forever player. Like,
Are you a forever player
Mhm.
because you don't like running games, or are you a forever player because you're bad at running games?
They don't believe in their ability to run it, and so if I had to give my character like a table archetype, they're the on-field general. Like I help to I read what the GM is trying to put down, and like I try to push that in the narrative. Like if we're lingering on a door too long and the GM is just like, you guys are trying to figure out what's going on with the door, but it's not quite there. Like my character is the kind of player that's just like, hey guys, maybe we should go a different way or do a different thing. Like I'm just trying to manifest what the GM is trying to tell the players in the narrative with my character.
And let's not forget the third option of doesn't like to do it, is bad at it, or just thinks they're bad at it. Just as an option.
I mean, whether they're good at it or bad at it, I think this is the kind of player that'll be like, I might be good at it. We'll never know because I'll never do it.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I like the idea that you are the social lubricant of like military base and townies, but also at the table between players and GM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I meant to do that.
I know, it was very clever.
All right.
I think it's just
Vixen.
me.
Vixie,
Yes.
how do you think?
So I think that the concept that I came up with for this character is that they are very much the quiet nerd. They are part of the art club. They're an artist. They love to draw. And they're the kind of person that will be drawing at the table during the game. Like they'll just be sitting there drawing character concepts or little scenes that have happened, things like that, like as the game is going on. And it gives the impression that they're not paying attention, but they are. They're just paying attention in their own way. And I think that they're like, that's kind of the vibe that I'm going for with this character. I have a couple of other details, but my brain also like spirals into tell me more about this person brain.
I will be asking more personal questions as we go along. So
yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I mean that's pretty much the core concept that I'm working with. I would like to make them Latina. I think they're first gen, which like for this kind of school makes sense. A lot of people go into the military. That's a much more stable life, like stable source of income, all of that stuff. And this would be considered a good school given the new affiliations and all of the programs that are now available as well. So another reason why why she would have gone to that school.
okay. So the real question we'll need to ask: are you a townie or are you military?
I think that she is a townie who's being encouraged to go into the military by her family. Because again, stable source of income, like all of the stability that comes with that role is available for her. So her parents are looking at it as like, this is a good job. This is a stable job. It'll bring you income. You'll have stability. They're coming at it from that perspective.
Okay.
Jason, I don't think
How
I got
about-
in my notes. Townie or military?
I was just thinking about that, and I have a clarifying question, sort of about how lines work.
Yes.
We have, I don't think it's bad to name one of our lines. That's okay, right?
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so one of our lines is homophobia. Great. We're not going to have that in the game. Does that mean I can have 2 military moms in 2007 and that's fine?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, 2 military moms, or at least one of them is, right? So, like, I'm technically a military brat, and there is some back and forth about, like, well, you do so great in ROTC, and you should go to boot camp, but, like, maybe you could go to the Olympics, and, like, these very high expectations about where I should be and what I should be doing. So, combo townie military brat.
No. Sorry. I love you, but you got to pick a side.
It's either one or the other.
Pick a side.
Okay, military brat then.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, okay, I see what you're going to this, but I can't allow I can't allow like half townie, but like you could have that. It could work, but it just helps my brain a bit better.
No, that's fine. If we need to, yeah, I mean, probably the most important influence is the fact that his mom is like a major or something, like a big deal.
Ooh.
And other mom is not in the military, but is supportive of, what? So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we have Jason, high jump power kid, popular, kind of has to play because you were dragged into it, but now it's kind of fun to enjoy it. We have Sam, wheelchair racer, really into it. Come on down, it'll be fun, if I'm not mistaken. We have Vixie as the quiet nerd that loves to draw in the corner, drawing on your own, my inspirations. Might come something, might be good, might not be, don't know how it goes. And we have Noir, you started a club, you're the golden child, you're like, everybody come on in, we'll have a good time. It'll be great. Let's talk about it. Do you have names?
Nathan Freeman. All my characters are black as hell.
That's weird. Mine aren't.
You're missing out. Also, default, all characters are described as black unless I say otherwise.
Copy that.
Yeah, you gotta use the same rule.
Yeah, I do. I only mentioned it was, I'm like, oh, and this white person comes in and they tell you, I'm like, oh, that person's definitely not black.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
Miranda Lopez is what I'm
Ooh.
looking towards.
I'm Tristan McAllister.
At some point, I'm asking everyone's pronouns for the characters. But we'll do as we go along, so it's okay for now. And Jason.
Oh, let's see. Early Knots names. Was that the Connor era?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Connor, I'll get back to you on last name. It's got to be a hyphenated last name. So that's I'll get to you on that one.
Okay. All right. So with that in mind, I must go back to the page. Bear with me. Oh God, where am I going? Oh, there I am. All right.
Oh, no, Tanner. Sorry.
Tanner's fine.
Yeah.
That was also era correct. Yep.
I think I've played a Connor before, so I want to do something different.
I had both a Connor and a Tanner in my class.
Yep. I taught both in my first few years of teaching, so
So you will describe a lot about yourself, but what is putting on? What do people think you are, and what are you really? Because you told me who you are, but that's some of you told me exactly who you are, but what do people think you are?
So we're getting to the truth of the character, like what we just described was how everybody perceived us. Who are we really?
Oh no, some of you described who you were, but
Mhm.
some of you also described what people saw you as. Like we have the popular kid who's like, look, I'm
Right.
just popular, I'm great. But and I don't want to play D&D, but like I got invited to it. But what are you on the inside? And we also had someone being like, you love talking to people, you love being the social glue, but what do people perceive you as? People always think that you're always conniving and being like kind of like on them, or is
Mm.
anything else? Like, what is the demeanor compared to what your nature is? I hate using those two words because you might be a vampire. What is your demeanor to your nature?
All right. And whose question is this? Who we starting off with?
This is everyone.
Okay.
All of us. Group question.
I think Nathan is that annoying kid that appears not to do anything wrong, and like is the kid that everybody's parents is just like, why can't you be more like Nathan? Like I hate that kid. Like real talk. Like I want to beat that kid up, but that's who I play.
All right, the kid that looked like could do no wrong. I like it.
Real quick, what are Nathan's pronouns?
I do have them in the Zoom. They are he, they, just like myself.
Okay.
Very much like all my characters are black. They are also all gender non-conforming.
Got it.
I think there's a certain, much like a perception filter manages not invisibility, but your eyes having a motivated slide away from the object under filtered perception. In high school, people are a little awkward with wheelers. Their eyes just kind of slide over. I think I read as Wallflower, but my heart is that of Jock. You might not read me as Jock because that's the coding that comes along with it, but I'm such a freaking Jock. I'm just a bro, and life is enough.
I
All
think
right.
I think that for Miranda, because she's quiet and tends to be drawing, so her pencil's constantly moving within a book, she gives the impression of being somehow very intelligent, very studious, this like A student, because of just the way that she is and is built, and kind of appears. However, that's not really the case. Like she's about average. Like she does well in school because she has to, because she's pushed to do so. But it looks like B's and B pluses as opposed to constantly straight A's and getting honors and stuff. It's a little bit along the more average track. For her, she very much focuses on her special interests, which are art and ttrpgs. Like that's where you get the info dumping, you get and I think she, because she is so quiet and so kind of introverted, she's a little, like as an actual person, she's a little socially awkward. In the sense that it's hard for her to open up to people. She info dumps a lot. A lot of people kind of perceive that as being weird. Her hobbies are perceived as maybe not being common, to say the least, you know. And maybe even her family is kind of like, well, she likes this. We don't know anything about it. No idea about this, but she likes it, so we're gonna leave it alone. Pronouns are she, they, for Miranda as well.
Thank you.
Tristan, Tana?
So Tanner is perceived, by the way, last name is Harrington-Coates.
Got it.
The perception is that Tanner has it all together, right? There's a lot of like high pressure, kind of like a version of Nathan, right? Where Nathan is, you know, well, you should be more like Nathan academically, right? It's not that everyone wants their kid to be like Tanner, but like Tanner has a public persona, is, you know, 10,000 followers famous, you know, like is seen and is like has people who know who he is. And so he has a public persona of like, yeah, American athlete, let's go. And under the surface there is some like the anxiety and the pressure and a lot of that stuff gets to him after a while, right? And so that's some of the you know, under the water ripples of what's happening behind the scenes, where at this point, like in high school, he's not a complete mess, but like if he doesn't go to the Olympics, what's he gonna do? You know, that's the vibe. So, yeah.
All right. I think we're going off answer for everyone else. I have to now finally ask, what is my demeanor? I'm the one that invites you. I'm part of the group that invites you to the game. No other than the talking, but like I'm also like I was also there because I ran it. But what was my demeanor? What's the impression you all got of who I was?
Maybe you're like more of the classic introvert, kind of like the words that come to mind are basement nerd, but I don't want to be mean or make it sound bad. That's not the way in which I mean it. It's just very much quieter, much more like you are not the face of the club the way that Nora's character is, that Nathan is. You're much quieter, you're much more about the hobby, much more like, okay, we want to do this so we have a reason to play games after school. And you are very into your craft, like you're the GMing, the gaming. Maybe you're a forever GM, the way that Nathan's a forever player.
I wonder if we could add a vibe of like, also, if we could just get you to take your glasses off and let your hair down, like you would be like
Beautiful.
Yeah, like
are you she's all
to,
vanning our GM?
I'm trying to like yes. Like I'm trying to wingman for you and like get you to come out to parties and stuff. I'm like, no, Lord, seriously, it's gonna be so fun. Like just
Yes, Rachel Lee Cook, no one would find you attractive until you take off your glasses and remove the ponytail, Rachel Lee Cook.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had such a crush on her, bro.
Yeah.
I think you always kind of struck me as the daydream almost paracosm flavor of quiet. Like, you know how Tolkien wrote a whole setting to support his conlangs? Like every time I like saw your notebook, I saw like world building notes. And so I got the impression that like you were in this for the world build. We are in the Lord of the Rings movies are coming out era.
Oh yeah.
And I think either that sort of colored my perception of you, or that's something that you took inspiration from. I don't know. I don't know your interior life. This is just high school Tristan's impression of you.
Is that level of prep and like the impressiveness of the story and the storytelling, is that what puts you off from GMing, Sam? I mean, Nathan?
I'm sorry.
Oh Lord.
I had to double check you hadn't left the room. I was like, everything all right?
Spiritually, yes.
Okay. If I
Hands
could
check. No,
handshake, anyone? Handshake? The button's right there. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna push
no,
it.
I'm just joking.
Oh, that's
All
right.
right.
I didn't open up our
Oh,
roll
I'm
20.
not.
I'm so sorry.
Hands check validated.
Yeah, keep that open all the time.
Yeah, my bad. My bad.
If I could find a way to have like button checks on Zoom, I so would.
Yeah.
But I didn't know at some point everyone will refer to that Roll 20, so I'm like, it's the next best thing.
There. I can keep that chat over there. I have a lot of windows open as your producer.
Yeah, I wonder why. Huh? Weird. Huh? Strange. Anyway, couldn't be me. More importantly, those are the impressions you all had of it. Let's talk about the game itself. The world of Raelis, a war of magic and mystery. What was good about it and what was bad about it? This is a general question. Everyone answers this. Oh, sorry. One second. I just realized something. Before we do, Noir, you cyberbullied me into running the game. I mean, what was your demeanor of me?
I was just about to ask, like, how did your character react to Nathan going, "Oh, we should make a club about this," and then making a club about this? But I mean, because I feel like Nathan is this the kind of kid that gets an idea, sees the good in it, and doesn't really stop to think about like, well, maybe my introverted GM friend doesn't want to be forced to meet new people. I'm just busy thinking like, I'm enjoying RPGs. You're enjoying RPGs. Everybody should enjoy RPGs.
When your introvert friend is adopted by an extrovert.
Yeah.
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 I have a
So when I
number of
say you thought I was perfectly fine and nothing was wrong?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you
Yeah.
want to share your gift? You're amazing at this. Let's show everybody how amazing you are, whether you want to or not.
I'm a number of people's designated extrovert. I take my role very seriously.
Yeah, that is Nathan. He is just like, I adopt introverts and then we convert them.
We will fix him.
The world will see you shine.
I don't even know what to say anymore. All right, with that done, let's talk about the campaign. So, what did we love about it? What were the key points that we loved, and what are the parts that we hated? Because every campaign has one, right? You're like, you know what? Okay, we may have time traveled 6 times, broken the universe, and like my entire backstory was completely irrelevant. But was that
Noir.
one game we fought the owlbear? I was there.
Like you said,
Hmm.
I really like the time travel aspect of the story. That's my favorite thing. We time traveled 6 times. It's been established. It's canon now. There's no taking it back. You guys can't take this from me.
Please don't make me use time travel in this game. I'm begging you.
It's too bad. You
Don't.
said it. You said it. Now we're here. Now we're here, baby.
No,
You did this.
I'm gonna
You did
X
this
card.
to you.
I'm gonna go over here and push the X card on the
Okay,
button.
then.
Okay, that's
All right, time travel is
there it
X.
No time travel.
No,
I love you all.
my
I do
soul.
not want to try and figure this out while also having you time travel. It's just not gonna help me. I'm not
No,
gonna
that's
get
fair.
it.
That's fair.
Like we just take multiverse to a whole. We just become the Loki show. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Like,
Yeah,
I
what
love
kind of
Loki
GM would want to
show.
do stuff like
That's
that?
not right. I can't deal. I can't deal.
I will say in our superhero campaign on Happy Jacks, we've established that all of the Happy Jacks worlds are part of a multiverse, and we visited
Amazing.
several of them. So
Oh,
that's fine.
geez. Okay, I'm trying to think. I think because Miranda's very visual as an artist. I think what she really enjoyed was the vivid descriptions of the world itself, like how like she found beauty in like the way the architecture was described, the way the landscapes were, like the environment of Raelis itself. Even when you were describing areas that were like desolated by wars or areas that were like kind of utterly destroyed, like there was just kind of a beauty in even the way the ruins that you were walking through were described, things like that. And I mean, that's where she would like find, or they would find enjoyment in those kinds of things. Think their least favorite thing would be combat. They would hate combat. I think they're the kind of player that struggles with combat just because they're the person that's looking at their character sheet. Maybe they don't fully read the text of the spell they're trying to cast, or they don't fully understand like what their martial attacks do. And like I think there was there eventually you do get it over time, but there was like a little bit of a learning curve that made it frustrating, and kind of that like bad taste never left her mouth or left their mouth, of combat.
All right.
Incredible how opposite people can be. I'm so glad someone liked the descriptions. I didn't understand why we were listening to all of it. That was look, I clearly didn't appreciate an artiste or anything. But I thought the combats were actually really cool. Like, I think you were a GM who wasn't afraid to let us do really awesome things. And that one big wizard fight, like near the end, where you let me like surf on top of a dragon for a little bit and then just like dive bomb off of it toward the wizard, and then I missed and I took a bunch of fall damage. But like,
Worth
that
it.
I got to do that. It was so cool. I liked hitting things.
I need some help workshopping a concept in my head.
Okay.
I want Tanner to relish playing a fuck up, right? Like with no pressure on him, and I'm picturing the fuck around bard, right? Who just whatever. What I'm not what I'm trying to be clear. Like what I don't mean is the person who like fucks up the story for everyone, right? Like it's what my character would do.
Oh God.
Not that, but like somebody who is free and has no obligations and can fuck around, and we'll find out later. It's fine. Like, what am I trying to say?
Carefree.
Carefree. Yeah.
Not reckless, like toward the table necessarily, but carefree.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out how to what did he enjoy from the game? Was the celebration after you rode the dragon, right? Like the inn, like the drinking and the singing and the wouldn't it be infuriating if Tanner could also sing well? If
I think you probably sing well. Why not? Take it. Embrace it. Live the dream.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I think it's Tanner really enjoyed those social situations, right? That like the celebrations, the you know, having to come up with a song or a story on the fly was something he really enjoyed doing. Even though he wasn't particularly good at just like writing a song out of nowhere, but suddenly could like sing pretty well. Like, bro, are you gonna do the musical or what? Like, it's that kind of stuff.
All right. So let me try and paraphrase this in a way that will make kind of like a bit more clearer. You enjoy the freedom to do what you wished. And the idea of playing a character that wasn't as talented as you really allowed you to explore more options.
Yeah, or like talented in a really different way, right? Like he wasn't the main tank fighter, whatever. Some sort of support class, maybe the cleric or the bard or whatever. However we want to frame that.
You enjoyed not being in the spotlight.
Yeah, yeah.
And the restrictions that come with it.
A reverse power fantasy. Is that anything?
Freedom from the pressure of the spotlight.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do the most DPS. That wasn't on you. So,
Yeah.
like, if we lost a fight, by implication, that also wasn't on you.
Yeah.
You didn't have to worry about not making it to the Olympic, winning the fight.
Fuck. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. What did you not like about the game?
Wait, I want to hear what Noir.
Oh no,
think I heard
sorry.
from
I'll just finish from Jason.
Jason.
right.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm supposed to do
I
plus and
misunderstood.
minus. Okay.
I thought we'd gone right. Yeah.
That's okay.
Should it be thematic or like a particular moment or what?
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, I think there was a moment where I was like trying to heal people and keep people up, and there was a moment where I was the last one standing and had to save the day, and everyone was like, "Yay, you did it!" And I was like, "Yep." Yeah, wasn't that fun, everybody? Where everything was on me and I did it. And like we succeeded. And I got everyone back up afterwards, but that wasn't fun. I didn't. That was a win, and I hated it.
Oh.
Not like this.
Okay. All right. Noir.
What Nathan liked was being able to essentially play the quarterback, being able to put everybody where they need to be for max
Hold on.
efficiency.
Noir, we need a little more microphone from you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Could you eat the mic? Just
How
put
about
it right
how's this sound?
a little lower, a little lower,
A little closer.
Little closer?
a little
How?
closer.
Oh, okay.
With
there
air
we
it
go.
extra dry.
Closer. There we go.
All right,
Bye.
there we
That's
go.
fine.
Oh,
How's
perfect.
that?
Thank you.
All right. Nathan liked being able to call the plays, being the quarterback, being the person that puts everybody where they need to be for max efficiency. Like, it was like playing chess with his friends as the players on the board.
Oh.
Co-op chess. Yeah.
No, just put your character over there, and then you can do so much more damage.
Yeah, like, hey, if you do this, then you consider you get the synergy between you and you doing this. It's the right way to go.
How nice was he about it?
Nathan is the kind of guy that will get you to do something, and you kind of don't realize that it wasn't an option until the encounter is over. Like, did I want to do that, or like was he just smiling real hard and it being like, no, for real, like you'll be able, here's all the reasons why it'll be good for you to do that. Like, like one, you'll be able to help out Tristan, and Tristan's kind of struggling with you saw the wizard and they fell. If you're there, you would be able to mitigate the fall damage. Like, why wouldn't you want to do it? Like, do you got beef with Tristan? Is something going on with you two? Like, it's kind of that. Um, and I think what he didn't like about the game. Sorry, by the way, what he didn't like about the game is that heroic moment that you had, Tanner. It made sense. It was the right move, but he wanted to sacrifice play. He wanted to be the last one standing, but it made more sense for him to fall. And I think there is a quiet resentment that you got to be the last one standing and bring everybody up.
Got to be. I had to be. I did not want that.
And like I'd imagine like everybody hyped you up afterwards, like we won, and that's what Nathan wanted. Like nobody went, great plan, Nathan. If you didn't think of that, it would have been a wipe for sure. Everybody's just like, Tanner, you saved the day, and Nathan's just like, yeah.
I'm sure we talked about these feelings afterwards in aftercare, right? Like that was
no.
We didn't light and fails that game, people.
No.
I'm sorry. We did not. We didn't even have the hands mechanic. I'm so sorry.
No.
I was a bad GM.
No, Tanner, good job. You saved everybody.
I know enough mechanics that there's a thing I actually did kind of want to do. I'm not I'm not here getting like straight A's or spending a lot of time drawing. I spend time on this character sheet. I have a build. It puts out damage. And it was just so exhausting to not do the thing that Nathan wanted.
Yep.
And like I wanted to hit things, which means not arguing. So I could just have a good time, be happy, and hit things.
Honestly, the way Miranda struggles with combat, she would literally just do, she would literally just do what Nathan says to be done with their turn.
Right.
I mean,
absolutely.
Okay, I guess.
Cool,
whatever.
yes, perfect. I'm doing that. Like, I don't
do
want to
that,
do this anymore.
whatever.
Like, is it over?
This
Like-
does, in my mind, my personal experience, it does feel like Miranda deals the most damage, and her turns are very important.
The paladin build, divine
paladin,
sight,
or
but
like
no idea what she's doing. What they're
sorcerer
doing.
bombardment or something, like whatever it is. We're like, oh my god, if you don't do backstab right now, we're all dead.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
you're like, oh, what's backstab again?
Yeah, like what does that do? Like, can just what or like rolls a crit like at the crucial time. Like, oh, what does a 20 do? Is that good? Like,
Use your smite for God's sake. I mean, you
Good
should
job. Yep.
you should probably
and
think
then as soon
about
as
maybe
you smite. I smite. What Nathan said.
we're gonna do a third level smite.
Third level smite. It's literally just repeating what Nathan's telling them.
Because we know Lloyd's GMing at that time was, well, you didn't say you prepped Find Steed today, so I.
Oh my god, we're building a toxic table and I'm having like more flashbacks.
Hey, I described a very say yes GM. I don't think the table's toxic, Nathan.
Oh,
Woo!
I wonder what the problem at the table is then.
I felt that magic missile whiz by me.
What are you looking at me for?
Never missed.
Hey, man, look at me. I was just trying to play. Yo, I didn't want to run the game. I just turned up. You can't blame me. I didn't even know what's going on. I just want to play. Okay.
Oh yeah, this is exactly a toxic table because it's just like everybody's like, it's not me, it's you. And I'm like, no, it's you. Like just fingers pointing.
The Spider-Man meme. Like,
Yeah.
One more question before we go on to the next space. What's my name?
Francis.
Dinkelberg.
Francis.
what?
Fairly Odd Parents. Don't listen to me.
Oh god, okay.
I don't know. I got one name in
Francis.
there already. I'm terrible at
Thank
names.
you.
I'm trying not to say Peter Francis Tracy.
Get out.
You're right.
Thank you much for playing RPG. I'm Happy Jack's RPG Podcast. My name is Lloyd.
This is fair.
Well, now, is there anything about players being related, characters being related? Because if your last name is Harrington-Coates, that seems like a wild coincidence.
Do you want to be related?
I think that could be fun.
All right.
Oh.
Or what if it's one of them? Like, what if you're a cousin or something like that? Like maybe you're
Sure.
Harrington.
What about your son? No.
But also,
No,
like,
okay.
we have two moms, and even if we're biological kids, we don't necessarily have to look that much alike.
I'm not for it. If you want me to be like a relation of any kind, cousin, nephew, brother, all of them work. What would you like?
I mean, what if we did, like, this is a cheesy thing that some friends of mine did to wives got pregnant at the same time to, like, have their sibling children born, which turned out to be a struggle for them. They're like, wait, we made a mistake.
Then why was I the one to bring you to the club?
Because I wasn't going to
At
go
your
hang out with my
sibling runs.
brother.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, we might be brothers, but like we don't like the same thing. I love role playing. You're the popular kid.
Right.
I'm mostly quiet, and I really got into the Lord of the Rings movies when they came out, and
Right.
I'm like all in on world building and how I want to make this complicated world of mystery and magic where a war is going on, and you're like, what even is this?
Yeah. I think that's really cool.
I don't care if Francis is your brother or not. I don't care that y'all are family. If you don't come here, I can't hit things.
Yeah. We need a healer or whatever, right? Like,
I'm holding out for a healer till the end of the fight.
Thank you, everybody. This has been Happy Jack's RPG.
You are not allowed to sign out. Back the hell up. How dare you take my bit?
I have the stop streaming button.
Oh
You
no.
might do, but I have to pick out. All right, anyway, carry on. All right, I feel like we've established enough about us that I can now ask the last
I think
big
Sam
hitter
has a question.
questions. What was number? Oh, sorry. Go on, Vic. Did you have a question? That's apologize.
Do you go by Francis in high school? Do you go by Frank? Do you go by Frankie?
Oh,
I
Frankie's.
know. I used to, but now when I'm at the GM table, I prefer Francis
Got it. Thank you.
because it like if you say my full name, I feel I have. So I read that it's always good to have a mask on what's called on IRC to have a mask or something. I read on something awful to that you should keep a thing away. So I figured since I didn't want to wear a physical mask because it itches my skin, I feel better if everyone calls me Francis. So we have that separation. I want to run the game to make it work, and having that separation will kind of help us get together. If that's okay with you, of course. Tristan.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, no,
So townies will know you, maybe know you by some earlier iteration of your day, and you're in your Francis period right now.
Mhm.
But like
before that, I was just Fran.
base brats probably wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like newly arrived base brats.
Before that, everyone just called me Fran because we just couldn't butt a full name. Like, yo, Fran, what's up? And I was like, okay, hi, how's it going? But now I'm like, I prefer Francis at the table. Please call me
Perfect.
Francis.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
What's right? Eh, I know it's really annoying when I pause and I don't say anything and typing because it's a podcast we're listening, and I'm like, "Hi, hello, anyone who's still listening to the podcast right now. I just want you to know that I love you. Thank you for sticking to it for the last 30 minutes.
It's all
Yeah,
good.
I'm speaking to you from the.
They probably
It's fine.
turned on empty space trimming anyway, so that's
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Never mind. Okay, carry on. Right. Okay, let's get to the meat of the question. I feel like we've got most of these answered in here. So I'm gonna throw these out at one person, and then you just tell me what the answer is for what's there. Um, Noir, you had
Hmm?
something that was especially important to you. What was it?
Ooh. I think that my mom gave me one of her service coins.
mm,
When you're in the service for a while, but there are coins that you get for doing certain things and the like. And my mom uh gave me the very first one that she earned, and it's kind of like my fidget. Like when I'm nervous, anxious, or anything, like I think he learned to do those coin tricks where he just kind of flips the coin over the knuckle
yeah.
to
That's
make
one of
it
those
look.
big like 2 inchers, right? Like that
Yeah.
the challenge coin kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, sorry. And I think he learned to do the knuckle flip in order to make the stem, the nervousness thing look cool. But it's in actuality, it's like a coping mechanism.
Would you say that your how is your relationship with your mom? Since you have that on you all the time, are you close?
Uh, he's close with his mom, but she is deployed. Uh, Pops is also military, but he is working to establish the base here. So he loves his mom, but doesn't have access to her, and he's stuck with his dad, and they do not get along.
All right. Sam, aka Tristan.
Yeah.
You had a goal in life. What was it?
I really don't want to say at this table. I really don't want to say Tanner's going to hear me.
Tana, leave the room. Okay, Tana's gone. You had a goal in life. What was it?
I want to go to the Paralympics.
I'm sorry, you want to go to what now?
The Paralympics.
Okay. I mean, we all thought that. Why would you want to hide that from Tana?
Because Tanner's whole thing, like his whole personality is going to the Olympics. And like, I also have this similar goal, but like, I don't want him to feel like I'm taking his thing or like doing a shadow of the thing. So I just don't talk about it. Like that can be my own thing. I don't want to like infringe on his space.
Do you
No.
think if you go and Tana doesn't go, Tana would be upset?
Yeah.
Do you think if you don't go and Tana goes, you would be upset?
I think I'd do better if I didn't go and he did than if he didn't go and I did. I'd be okay.
Tana, take your hands out of the ears. Tana, Tana. There you go. Thank you. Right. Hey, Vixie, what's up?
Hello.
Actually, I don't want to ask that question.
Oh no. It's that bad, huh?
You know what? No, dark fantasy, baby. Vixie, your teenage years had something specifically shitty to deal with. What was it?
Great. It's shitty to deal with, you said?
To deal with, yes.
Okay. I think that I dealt with a lot of financial hardship. I was the kid that took the bus, that couldn't afford necessarily, might be able to afford to go on a trip, but didn't necessarily have money to like go spend on that trip, like on the school field trip. You know, sometimes you go to like places that where like, you know, you can buy souvenirs or whatever. She wouldn't be able to do that. And that I think particularly this came to a head when some of the kids in their class were talking about the things that they like to buy, especially around the holidays, things that they were wanting. They were very much the kids with that were going to get iPads or that were going to get these very expensive, high price point things. And it was just a reminder to them specifically of how little they actually have. Like they didn't even think about wanting these things because they knew their family couldn't afford them. So it was like, it's not necessarily bullying in the traditional sense where they're rubbing it in like they are making fun of them specifically for that. It's more like they're inadvertently making them feel bad about not having the same access that the other students had to things. And I think that was something that really impacted them psychologically and kind of influenced how they would grow up in their mentality as they grew up.
I just gotta say, I really appreciate that being in the game. That was like me growing up in real life, and I thank you for putting that in the game.
On that subject, Tana, you had an all-consuming interest, your absolute obsession. What was it?
Well, I mean, track is easy. That's too easy. No, but I mean, I want to lean into that. Like, it is. He does 2-a-day workouts. He goes for runs in the morning before school, and then has training after school. And like being able to get this club in there was a big time commitment for him. And it's yeah, I mean, that training is the all-consuming interest, and he's built for it, right? Like he's built to be trained. He's that like genetic lottery athlete, right? Like is built to be an athlete and is training hard to be the best athlete that he can be, and doesn't really have like the best coaching. Like we're starting to attract better coaches now, but like maybe one of our moms was a pro athlete of some kind, something like that. But yeah, I think that's the obsession, right? Is like when we're gaming, I maybe have like a dumbbell at the table, you know, because or doing squats.
All right. And finally, I had a goal in life. What was it?
Well, I mean, if we want to talk about a Naughty's DM, write a novel.
Okay. I think that makes sense. I wanted to write a novel about our fantastic world.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
Looking something up.
It's a novel
Okay.
thought.
So this is more the like silly kind of like establish what the background is images for ourselves. I know y'all think it's gonna be relevant, but it will be later. I promise. So here we go. Where do we play together? At school, at someone's house, do we do anything else? What do we play?
It's a school club, so I imagine that like Nathan, being their charismatic, extroverted selves, probably found like a room. It might not be a great room, like maybe they negotiated for part-time space in the janitor's closet or like a section of the gym, but like something like that. Like there would be a space at school since it's a school club, technically.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
have to be on school property.
I know exactly where it would be.
Go
Oh
on.
no.
Because Noir did this in real life. Uh I was able to talk the drama director into letting us use the stage when the theater kids weren't putting on productions.
Yes.
Oh, you piece. Ooh. Oh. Oh, how could you? That sucks so bad.
And yet it's so good. And yet it's perfect. The world is a stage.
Oh.
Amongst us, who was the smartest?
Nathan. Well, Nathan is showy smart. It could also be
Yeah.
Miranda.
I was thinking Miranda, honestly.
Yeah, that's probably the better way to go.
What if, okay, let me pitch this. What if it's two different kinds of smarts, where maybe one is book smart and the other is street smart? Because I did say earlier that Miranda often gives the appearance of intelligence, but doesn't necessarily have intelligence in the traditional sense. So it could be that Miranda is very street smart, and when it comes to like interacting with the world, like that, she knows where to go, they know what to do, how to not get pickpocketed, all of those things. But maybe Nathan is more book smart.
We could also do good at smart, good at school. Because you could be very smart
Yes.
and like doing homework and turning it in on time is like bad, or you have test anxiety kind of thing.
Oh, I like the test anxiety thing.
Yeah.
The Miranda's a test taker. So maybe they're very intelligent, but like can't showcase it. That could also be a thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, I like it. I like it. Oh, I lost the page. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Who was the best looking?
I heard genetic lottery earlier.
Well, hold on though, because I still think if we take Nathan's glasses off, like
No, it was Francis's glasses.
Francis takes the
oh
glasses.
Francis, yeah, Francis' glasses.
Because it makes sense that the popular kid is like the popular jock kid is classically the most attractive.
You were considered the best looking. Should have gotten that ponytail. Gotten that ponytail off, it would have been a different assessment. We thought that Tanner was.
Yes, past tense.
So we thought that I was best looking, but one day,
One day the
Francis
world
came
will
in
know.
and actually had their hair done, and then they take off their glasses,
Yeah.
and they were like, it was like,
yeah,
Tanner who?
that one.
turns out Francis really works out because they've been carrying on those books all the time.
Sleeper
And here we
belt.
are.
Right. Like I'm getting Francis to go on jogs with me, you know, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're always hunched over, but one day they have to stretch, and you were like, oh my God, are they like 5'4"? What the, oh my God.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm there. I don't know why I'm there, but I'm there. All right. Who did people pick on the most?
I think I would volunteer Miranda.
I was kind of thinking Miranda.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about the like socioeconomic disparity and that kind of stuff. Like that's there.
There's a lot of reasons to pick on Miranda right
Yeah.
now. I mean, I was that kid growing up, so that's not new for me.
So there's also crab bucket mentality for the high performers. People described like any excuse to tear Nathan down kind of thing. Like I could see having a little bit of an inroad and just picking on the person who feels like they're punching up, but it
Yeah.
turns out they're also a high school kid for sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like surely no one is messing with Nathan, and then just like it agglomerates.
Yeah.
On the subject, did any of you ever have a crush on someone in the group? And if so, did it ever go anywhere? Please keep in mind we have the lines and veils for romances. And I believe everyone is asked first.
Mm-hmm.
So, except one of us. But so keep that in mind when you're going through it to make sure it's consensual from both sides. Even if it wasn't emotionally consensual, has consensual that happened.
Yeah, I would be phrasing any kind of romantic interaction as a pitch. That person's free to say, no, not feeling it, not going anywhere. But just thinking about if because I feel like Miranda's the kind of person who would have a crush but would never act on it, hence why it would never go anywhere necessarily.
Tanner would definitely have a crush. Probably do something about it. And just see what happens. Well, wait a minute. No. I oh no.
It's hard because I mean for me it's hard because there's so much there's like nuance to that, like because I guess for me it would be more than just kind of the initial physical attraction, because we've all expressed kind of that everyone's some reasonable looking version of themselves, you know. I would assume, unless someone specifically would like to be non-traditionally attractive or something like that, but
It's okay for the answer to be no as well, by the way, everyone. Just a heads up.
I think Nathan would have a crush. Would not do or say anything about it. And I will leave that there.
Yes.
Same, and they regret that they have this crush. They wish they didn't. It's really inconvenient.
I think so. I feel like the consensus is yes, but no one wants to say.
Cool, I'll go
think-
first. Now, I haven't put anything down for France. I've been letting you lot make the choice, but there is no way Francis did not have a crush on Miranda, if that's okay with Miranda. And they were like, oh my God, you could draw all my art when I become famous.
Right,
I'm
like
spiritually aligned with this ship.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But the question is, do we want it to have gone anywhere? Or do we want it never to have worked out? And no one, because I feel like there's a group of, we all had crushes and no one said anything and no one did anything.
Well,
and that was it.
The question, Francis, is does Tanner know about this? Because it definitely went somewhere if he did. Like something happened.
Okay. Here's my pitch. Francis never says they have a thing for Miranda. Tristan and Nathan, it's very obvious they have a thing for Miranda. Tanner has no clue.
Oh, wait. I don't know that Tristan and Nathan necessarily have crushes on Miranda.
Oh,
no, they
to
know.
Tristan and
Oh.
Nathan. I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Insight check DC2. Yeah.
Okay.
But, and everyone has collectively agreed to just not let Tanner know. Yes.
That's great. Yes.
I feel like that makes sense because when we have because I'm building Francis in my head as we're going on, and I feel that would work for Francis, particularly because you love to draw.
Yeah.
Right. Miranda's artistic nature, and I think I don't think Miranda's fully conscious of that crush either.
I think that makes sense.
As of the mental state that Miranda is operating from, they're the kind of individual that is not typically the focus of anyone's affections or necessarily is crushed on. They're not used to being popular, very much alpha mentality. So why would anyone like me? I'm not desirable. I'm just trying to do my thing in my own way. Like that's not something that they necessarily focus on because they don't view themselves as attractive, and therefore don't feel that they will ever receive that kind of attention. So yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I think I need
on.
us to turn off our chat sounds in
sorry.
Roll20.
Oh, stop.
no.
Was it popping up?
No, I was rolling to see something about my character.
Actually, hold up. Could someone roll? I'm going to turn off my sound and see it pops up. So,
okay.
go ahead and roll in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's quiet.
Yeah, I rolled again. All right, so let's see. Um,
Oh, now it's making sound again. Oh, it might be on my end because the window goes into the background, and so when it's, let's see, where's like notifications?
Yeah, you might have to mute the notifications
I
on your
muted the
browser
tab
thing.
because as soon as I went to the tab, all the sounds went off together at once. And I was like, oh no. Yeah, I was like, that's a lot.
For those of you listening in, we do apologize. We'll have a little bit slight technical difficulty, but it's fine. Jason will edit this. I'm sure they'll kick this bit out. It'll be fine.
No,
I don't
we'll
think
leave it
yep.
in.
Okay.
We'll put it in twice.
Twice. All right, we'll work on that as we're going through. But I just want to establish, does anyone else have any crushes they want to bring up? Other than people who are like, I had a crush, I will never tell.
Oh, so I'm going to say that Miranda and Tanner knows that Nathan is wibbly on Tristan and Francis.
Nice.
Like there's just acts a little different towards them.
Sure. I think Tanner.
Oh god, I have to build a fucking chart. Okay, let's do this. I gotta build a flow chart.
I left it to the die, baby. Like I was...
Hang on.
Listen, as soon as you push the ship's speculation button, this is what you get.
A bunch of high schoolers.
I ruined my life. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this.
I
So did
rolled
our
a D6. 6 was no, like this person has no clue, and 1 was like, oh, it's so obvious. It's so like it was just 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, and I'm like, okay.
I think Tanner's in a similar situation, but has been playing it off by like being flirty in game because it's not good at communicating his feelings.
So here's what I think, because your character is a flirtatious bard.
Yeah.
Right? And I also rolled for it, and I happened to roll Tanner. So I think Miranda has the classic like nerd girl athlete crush on Tanner.
Oh no.
Miranda is not going to act on it, does not have the confidence to act on it, is fully unaware. As I also think if Miranda knew Francis, like was fully, if they were fully aware that Francis had a crush on them, then things might be a little different. But I do think that there is like a bit of a crush on Tanner, and they kind and like that they don't know how to act around Tanner necessarily. So it always gets awkward when Tanner pulls the bard card and starts getting flirty in game. They just like that bad test taking anxiety kicks in, and it's just like, I forgot what words are. I don't know how to use them. What is English?
Yeah. So Francis is into Miranda. Miranda's into Tanner.
Mm-hmm.
Tanner and Francis are brothers. That's
Who's
not
Tanner
complicated
into
at
again?
all. That's fine.
All right.
The D20 of ships.
Okay, I think
I
I'll go
have a chart
everyone
for you.
down. Francis, Miranda, Nathan, Tanner, Miranda, Tame. Okay, got it. Anyone else? Anyone want to put me through this hell? No? Anyone else? No?
Well, so and just to be clear, Tanner is flirty with everyone in the game, but not Francis, not NPCs, because that is weird.
All right. Okay. I feel like everyone said the piece.
I'll never tell.
All right. Who was the group scared of at school?
The recruiter?
Oh.
Ooh.
Sucks to be y'all bipeds.
Can my dad be the recruiter?
Do you want your dad to be the recruiter, Nathan?
Yes.
What's your dad's name?
Rufus.
Rufus
Okay.
Freeman.
Love it.
Corporal.
And you two don't get along, right?
Yeah, Corporal Freeman. We do not. We really do not.
All right. Why are you all afraid of the recruiter?
Well, he works with one of our moms. He's he could tell on us.
That's fair.
But
That's fair. I'm up with that. I'm up with a good idea. Lose law.
although the authorization for the club is already given, like this, so theoretically it's okay with the school.
Well, the club is, but just like general behavior and existing, there's an
Okay.
adult at the school who knows my mom.
Right.
Can we say Corporal Freeman knows everyone's mom?
Well, probably, yeah.
I mean,
Recruiters go to PTA meetings.
Yeah.
like I kind of feel, especially with the setup that we've created, that he's got a little bit more sauce than the average recruiter at a high school. Like he's almost like part of the administration at this point.
Yeah, he might have like a counselor's office or something.
I think in Miranda's case, because their family is pushing them into the military lifestyle and that military job, that person can make or break essentially their future.
Oh yeah.
Very deep-seated, like I have to present myself, I have to be my best self around this person at all points in time. Otherwise, like after high school, I'm screwed. Kind of a situation.
All right. Finally, the real dirt's coming out, everyone. Who is your favorite and least favorite person in the group? And
Oh,
why?
gosh.
Tanner, you stole my moment. Like I feel like that's the I feel like that
Feel
was
bad
the
about
end
that.
of the game. Like
Very
I feel like
bad.
that was like the BBEG. Like that was the moment that Nathan had been working up to, like getting the whole game, and it was snatched from the jaws of snack like last second. So if you're okay with that, I would love their like Nathan is not going to be outwardly shitty about it, but there's always gonna be that flavor of like I'm bitter.
Yeah. So favorite can be kind of a secret too. Oh wait, Nathan, do you want to do both?
I'm you ever answer a question and find the shittiness in your character?
Yeah.
I think you're about to.
Yeah, I just
Mhm.
did. Miranda is Nathan's favorite because they're so pliable. Like they just go along with it. So it's just like, yeah, I know if I need something, I can turn to Miranda, which is a really shitty way to go about it, and I hope that
Yeah.
you're okay with that.
Sometimes
But, yeah.
teenagers are shitty to each other.
And sometimes it doesn't stop at a teenager.
Yeah.
So-
It's funny because you don't recognize those personality types, and then you look back on it like as an older adult, and you're like, man.
Yeah.
like as I've been thinking up more of Nathan, there are two people that he is.
Inside every Nathan are two Nathans. And
And they both suck.
It's so true.
so I want to say Tanner's favorite is Francis, and it is like kind of low key, but he's so fucking proud of his brother and like the writing that he's doing. He's like, oh, he's gonna be like a novelist or like something like it's so cool. And I don't think he totally knew that until he joined the club, right? But like seeing Francis lay out a storyline and do all this, like this is why Tanner still stays in the club and keeps coming every week, is he's super, super proud of what Francis is doing. But would never admit that, not yet. Maybe after therapy as a grown-up. And then least favorite, wait, was it Tristan or Nathan who was like making sure everyone's in the right place doing what they're supposed to be doing?
That was
Nathan.
Nathan is
Mm-hmm.
technically the least favorite. Again, like probably couldn't articulate it, but Tanner's here for a good time, not a long time, and is not optimized, is not always doing what he's supposed to be doing. Again, is not a troll or a goblin, you know, like is not trying to fuck up the game, but is not optimized. And so Nathan trying to make sure, even being nice about it, you know, trying to optimize everyone and have everyone in the right spot and do all that. Tanner struggles with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to go?
I think that for Miranda, when we talk about favorites, these are the people that Miranda would find in the hall and like have a conversation with, like, hi, how are you? How is these subjects today? And it's a top, like it would be Francis and Tristan. Like both of them would be the people that Miranda would actually talk to, which is a lot because Miranda's an introvert and doesn't like to talk to people. But Francis, because of the art and writing, like I imagine they work together a lot despite the complete, I don't know that this person has a crush on me. Tristan, I think, would be much more the emotional support friend, like, oh, I'm having this problem, can you help me solve it? Like I'm not good in these kinds of social situations. Like that. Whereas the people that Miranda would actively avoid would be Tanner and Nathan for vastly different reasons. Nathan is actually the person that she likes the least, or before that whole, I'm being bossed around by this person, and yes, it's easier, but I don't like that. Like I would much prefer to be in my little bubble being left alone. Also, they're way extroverted. So the introvert's like, I would like to be inside of this little garbage can. Don't take the lid off. You know? Whereas Tanner, it's pure unadulterated, like, I like this person. I actively have a crush on this person. Schrodinger's crush, if I never speak to them and never interacted with them, they will forever remain like that. Like and dislike can now coexist in this weird probability space. So yes.
The waveform has yet to collapse upon your heart.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay. And then finally, Tristan.
I mean, the thing is, Nathan's so busy bossing Miranda around, and the thing is, like, Miranda, they really like role play, and like that's not really a thing I was super into. It's not really why I got into the club. But I don't get to talk or like exist during combat, the thing I actually like came here to do. But if you can just like do one of those like RP scenes with Miranda, like you can actually get something where a person is listening to the words that you say and responding to them. And that feels nice. So even though that's really like not the thing I came to this club for at all, like this experience has gone a little weird for me. I'm trying just to like find the flavors of fun that I can. And like, don't get me wrong, like when I do manage to do a thing, like Tanner's super there to like call it out and support it and be cool. Like that's very much there, but there's just like so much energy that I think where Miranda might let themselves get run over, Tristan wants room and can't get it and feels the frustration of that at this table, Nathan.
Everybody looks at Nathan.
I'm loved at this table. Like,
Shut up. What made you say that? Shut up. Shut up twice.
Okay.
What about Francis's favorites?
Francis. Actually, who is Francis's favorite?
Oh, we have to answer that?
No. Actually, Francis will not reveal this part. I just realized because Francis's crush has been revealed, and Francis probably will be like, that's the main thing about their focus, but it wouldn't reveal what's there because they hate everyone else.
Ah.
Well, I don't know. Let's talk about it. Nathan,
Yes.
who said we should do a club?
Who what now?
Who said we should do a club, huh? Tristan, I gave you descriptions. Do you care? Or are you just zoned out? And Tana, why are you here?
Oh shit.
So who does who like so they have a favorite and then they have everyone else.
Yep.
The resentful GM. Oh, this is the perfect toxic table.
Yep.
Wait, why are you so
God.
cool in combat then? Because it was also true that you are a yes GM for like events and like you do give everyone hero moments and stuff. What emotionally brings that out of Francis that despite not really liking all of the players at the table, you still have that like generosity to your style?
Forced it out of me. I realized by session 3, if I don't give you what you want, this game will never work. And I went back and went through every single one of my notes and went, no, I need to be a better GM. So what started off where Miranda is there and everyone is down there actually made me a much better GM because I started tailoring the game to suit my table.
Well, and maybe if everyone else has a good time, Miranda will be really impressed.
Also that. I just want to hang out with Miranda all day and draw things for my book. But I have to run this game, and I'm going to make it the greatest game I've ever run in my life. I'm going to make sure I yes-and everything. I'm going to make sure Tristan gets all the cool backflip moves. I'm going to make sure Nathan can talk our way through everything else. I'm going to make sure Tanner has a reason to come every goddamn week. I'm going to put everything in because I want to make sure I spend more time in Miranda. And if I have to make you all get to my level, I will do it.
At some point, you realize that if it was not an entertaining game, they were all going to leave the club, and that would affect your ability to
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, and so I'm like, no, I have to be good. And I have to, my notes are huge. I'm like, where am I going with any of this? I don't know. Rewrite this whole thing. Do I need this 30-page description of the forest? We can make it 20, right? I can make it 10. Oh no, Tristan won't listen. I'll make it 3. No, I'll make it a paragraph. Okay.
I'm just imagining you having this conversation in your house with Tanner in the other room, listening to this unhinged monologue. Like that's happening.
Yeah, like, he's just practicing voices, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Wow. Oh, I feel so bad. I feel so bad for our GM.
Well, I just said what came out of my mind. I was like, well, I feel like that's what Francis would be like. They're like, I have to make this game work. I have to make this game work. I have to do everything in my power to make this game work. And then ran to him the greatest game he's ever written. That would be completely unbeaten. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
I've got so much fun to get through. Time passes. Everyone, you're now adults. Nathan, your service coin was one of the most especially important thing to you. And it was a connection to your mom, who you didn't get a chance to see very often, and you were stuck with your dad. You've lost that coin. How and why?
In a bet.
Fuck.
I lost it in a bet.
You lost a coin that connects your mom in a bet?
Yep.
What was the bet?
Played a game of poker.
What does that mean for your relationship that you're willing to bet the one thing that connects your mom to it?
It means that I was able to talk somebody into thinking that sentimental value was equal to the monetary value that they put on the table.
Wasn't it? Are you not that close to your mom anymore?
I've learned that if you want something, that you can make it happen. If she wanted to be close to me, she could have made it happen. She chose not to. But the sob story was good enough for the table, so
Good enough for the table or good enough for you?
I'm picturing him as at the table with his friends. Like, he learned that the planner doesn't get recognized. All that people remember is the success. So now he's kind of laser focused in on success, and everything else is just kind of so it's good enough for him.
A person that's more obsessed with success than they are of being liked and are willing to go as far as they can to get that to happen. It's a good feature. I'm okay. It's not great. You're probably selling crypto right now, I bet 100%.
Oh, I'm like I am
Yeah.
I am a Wall Street hedge fund guy. Like
Uh, Miranda,
Yes. Hi.
the thing that was shitty in your life still haunts you today. How does it impact your life?
I think that Miranda, that financial hardship kind of like as she grew up made her work really hard. It's something that they weren't necessarily passionate about. I mean, Miranda made all the right moves. They went into the military. They were an active Air Force member of the Air Force. They were, they did their time within the military. They're out now, but like the way that financial hardship has scarred them is kind of in this desire to take care of everyone, including her family, and making sure that, including their family, and making sure that they are taken care of, and always having always having like almost hoarding money, being very, very much a penny pincher in that sense. Like, can they afford the nice vacation? Yes, but they will take the shorter, cheaper vacation just because they are so worried about spending lavishly and then winding up not having enough. Like, they're haunted by the idea of not having enough and are always almost in like a semi-paranoia of that, of like having whether or not there's enough in the bank account, whether or not there's enough to cover everything, despite the fact that there is more than enough. There is plenty to take care of all of the things that need to be taken care of.
All right. Sam, Tristan had a goal they wanted to get, and you achieved it, but it hasn't made you happy. Why?
No one cared.
God,
Almost.
we'll see.
I don't have a question up for that one. I'm sorry, that seems pretty clear to me. No one cared.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got you.
Thank you. Yes.
Tanner, your all-consuming interests is no longer in your life. Why?
Look, if you feel like your employer is wrongfully docking your pay, or your work conditions are inappropriate or dangerous, Harrington-Coates Legal Services are here for you.
Yeah, I saw your face on a bus
Oh.
bench.
Wow.
But why?
Because that's what I was able to do.
Oh!
High achievement was required. Law school was doable when my ACL went out.
Wow.
Yeah, you need those.
Yeah, the leggies do.
I love, by the way, how you're like, oh man, oh man, my foot hurts. I don't know what to do. I've lost my passion. Well, I'll just become an incredibly successful lawyer, I guess. All
Oh,
right.
not incredibly successful. We're a small town, like, workers' comp.
Military small town. No. Still
Sure.
pretty cool. I'm still
Yeah,
proud of it.
but I'm not a JAG. I'm not like a military. I'm like,
Why
Like
aren't you
Peter
a military
Francis
lawyer?
Tracy. I'm sorry. Just had to bring it back.
because I military was always the backup for me, right? Like I went to college, I was running, I was gonna do really well, flamed out in college, versus like going to the military and doing college later. So the military doesn't want my busted ACL. So I just did, whatever sort of not Ivy League law school, just the law school we could afford, and which is great. Like that's a great privilege, right? To be able to go to law school, but it's not Harvard law. It's, whatever sort of state institution, their law school. And yeah, I never think about it. It's fine. It's, I do some rowing to stay in shape,
I like it. Big fan.
and, just probably some golf.
Less of a fan, but all right.
Gotta be able to, close deals and whatnot, that just to, be in touch with people. But, yeah, is not the lawyer with the big house in town and the Porsche and everything else. Like neither is he Saul Goodman, but like, he's in between. Like has a successful law practice that pays the bills. And he does care that Tristan went to the Paralympics. Probably not the good kind of care, but there are some newspaper clippings in his house.
Damn. Well, France's goal in life was to write a novel about Raelis. They did not achieve that. Why?
They're
I will
still
say,
working on it.
well,
20 years later?
Yep.
I mean, look at George Lucas. Keeps rewriting Star Wars. But anyway, I was gonna point out too, lack of support for that craft. Like there was kind of a like, oh, that's a really nice hobby that you have, but that's not gonna make money, so you should do something that makes money. Which is the bane of many an artist.
Yeah. Well, are you working with me?
Am I working with you?
Is it Harrington-Coates and Harrington-Coates?
Is it the Harrington-Coates? Do you want Francis to have been like, well, I guess I'll work a lawyer job, I guess?
Yeah, like doing the you know, not necessarily the bar, but what is the lawyer assistant thing called?
Paralegal.
Paralegal.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of writing involved. It's, you know.
So 1 Paralympics, 1 paralegal.
You could also have gone to school to be a court stenographer. Then you'll have Tanner would have an insider in the courtrooms. Just saying.
Oh, you're taking down everyone's stories.
Everyone else's
Verbatim.
stories.
Oh, that's right.
I like that. That makes my heart hurt. Let's go.
With zero embellishment, zero creative tag. Like, yep.
I'll offer that with like big world buildy creative types. Sometimes they're the perfectionist drive and like blank page fear. Like I think you kept world building and world building and world building. And at some point, like you have to make the characters who have the story, who have the plot. And that seemed maybe hard, or you could do another corner of world building. I think it just sort of might have been a little bit of blank page. I don't know. That was at least my take when you know.
Yep.
No one asked.
All right. Well, with that in mind, everyone, it's the 2020s now. What's your lives like? What happened to y'all? Tell me what happened. Did you get married? Did you lose kids? Do you have kids? Do you have anything going on? What's going on? Tell me about your lives.
I got a cat.
Go on. Do you have cats?
I got a cat.
I love cats. Tell me about everything else.
Nathan is a successful, single, and lonely hedge fund manager of a wealth management firm. He completely sold out. Like he's just lavish condo in the city, fancy cars, fancy stuff, but like, you know, doesn't have any real connections.
Can there be a small connection of like the little bit of money that the law firm is making like goes through you're my investment manager?
I think on Tanner's side, it's just like Nathan is helping us out. Nathan cares. And on Nathan's side of it, it's like this is all you get. Like you get enough to sustain you, but like he could give more. He chooses not to, and that's the real.
Well, Tanner is by an order of magnitude your smallest investor, right? Like it's just like I was like Tanner maybe doesn't even understand the magnitude that you're operating at, but it's like, hey, you understand investments. Can you like help me get started? And you're like, yeah. Fuck
the response that you would get is, I have somebody reach out to you, and like you don't. At most, you'll get an email that is addressed as though it's Nathan, but you could tell in the writing that he had somebody write it up to you. It's a very impersonal way of helping you out.
Sure.
It's just like, I will help you, but I won't be present, which I feel is very cold.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
All right. How about the rest of you? What's your life like now?
Let's see. We're all in our 30s.
Crushing your 30s.
Yeah.
I think that Miranda is retired from the military lifestyle. Like they did not find joy in it. It was much more, this is what I was told to do. This is very similar to like how she blindly kind of did everything Nathan told her to do in game. She did the same thing with her family, with their push to the military. Like she did that because they said that's what she had to do. That was the right thing to do. That's what was going to bring her success in life. And she did that. And with the financial, like I think that after she got out of the military is when she really realized that, like, she kind of entered into this, like, she realized she made that her whole identity. So she had a bit of an identity crisis, midlife crisis, if you will. And started regularly attending therapy. And that is where she discovered the issues that she had with those financial hardship, the scars that she had. And so now she's actively working through that. They're still present. She has not fully worked through those issues. But she's at least cognizant of them and can recognize them when they come up. And is doing her best to use the tools that her therapist has given her so far to kind of resolve that, while she tries to pursue a career as a storybook illustrator. She's been like because essentially those therapy meetings helped her kind of hone in on like, what are you passionate about? What do you want to do? And her whole brain said, what do you mean, what do I want to do? I've always done what other people wanted me to do. Like, I don't, this blue screen restarts. And then through that kind of figured out like, well, I've always liked doing art. This is the thing that I really want to kind of pursue. And so now she's doing that, and she's kind of moonlighting as an illustrator. She's done some work, but is only just starting to kind of put herself out there. And that's another reason that she's kind of being very tight with money, because she's operating off of her savings. She hasn't made enough of an income as an artist to really maintain herself. And I think that she's never really found anyone who understood her. So I don't think that she's got a partner. She has like a cat, and a dog. She's got a cute little, oh my God, corgi. I was like, what's the dog with the butt, with the badunkadonk? And it's a corgi. She's got a little corgi. And I think the corgi is named Byron, and the cat is named Picasso, because the cat's an asshole. So but to everyone but her for some reason. But yeah, the cat's a dick.
Can I pitch something horrible?
Oh God.
If you did a lot of the stuff you were supposed to do, and that included like going to the military, I mean, also there's the relationship component of that, and you're like, well, I like Tanner, and then there's college and being a professional and like getting married, and then that doesn't work out, and because you went to therapy, you're like, oh, I got with him because I thought I was supposed to.
So like they actually did get together, and it didn't work out. Yeah. Wow, I'm down for that. Oh my God, the trauma. Let's go.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Then I will reverse pitch to you that she won the lawsuit, and now you're paying her.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, I don't know that it would be that
like not
contentious.
Not like a lawsuit, but you know how like the division of assets, like she got the better end of that deal.
Yeah. Got the house and the yeah.
Exactly.
Ooh, boy, y'all went in. I was like, no,
let's go.
Okay. Well, here we are.
Can I add a touch of horribleness to this?
No.
Do it. We're all here. Do it.
Can I have paid for Miranda's lawyer?
Yeah.
For free?
I had planned from session 0 to have the hero moment, and it was taken from me. So now I pay for your ex-wife's lawyer. I think you need to really understand how petty a person Nathan is.
And of course you liked Miranda. They let you boss them around.
Yeah, like...
So there's one whom you like because they're pliable, and one whom you don't like because they threaten you.
Oh my God.
And where does that leave Francis, having been crushing on Miranda this whole time?
Right? Oh my God, poor Francis.
This friend group is really fucked.
Okay, hold on. So you dated your brother's crush. How is your brother not going to hate you for all that you've done? Like that's grounds for more like hidden
because
energy.
Here's the thing. Like this is like into college, and I'm like, hey, didn't you like Miranda? She's like calling me. Is it cool if we go out? And Francis is like, oh yeah, that's fine.
I don't care. It's
Narrator.
fine.
Yeah, it wasn't fine. And then, years later, it falls apart for so many reasons, right? Like we both got into it with the like, this is what you're supposed to do next. But also like Tanner's turned a little bitter and, not as much.
Maybe a pitch, like once you tore your ACL and everything kind of went to shit, your whole personality just shifted and you weren't the same.
Yeah.
Anymore. And like, as much as Miranda might have tried to be there for you and support you, it just became a situation that was toxic for both of them.
Yeah. I think for Tanner also needs to go to therapy, but hasn't, because it's the like, hey, what do you do when your whole personality just went down the drain? Because athletics was his whole thing. So, yeah.
I would also like to pitch that maybe one of your trophies or accomplishments got thrown out the second story window in like one of your fights.
Yeah.
One of the fights. Just like, but yeah.
Yep.
Yo, Tristan, how's your life doing?
I do data analysis for a small business in the back of an office in a strip mall.
Is it the same strip mall that Harrington-Coates Legal Services is in?
Oh, yeah, I guess I
didn't
see you in the
notice?
parking lot sometimes.
Wow. Yo, people, did anyone have a good life?
I did.
Shut up. Shut up. Put your hand down. Put your hand down.
Hey, data analysis is
Fine.
perfectly fine money. Okay? It's perfectly fine. All of it is perfectly fine. Extremely low saturation. Color grading, intense. A filmic choice.
God.
What? No, don't give me that look. Why bother? If you do a great thing, no one cares. Why? Why bother?
Yep.
Anyway, Tristan, tell me about your life now. Tell me about your divorced life.
Wait, Tristan or Tanner?
Okay.
No, sorry, Tanner, my bad. I messed the names up.
Sure. So it's really like Tanner is just focused on work for the last 15 years, of like, that's it. That's all I have to do is if I just work, I have to check in with, I'm pretty sure there's not a kid situation like that. Would be so fucking complicated. So that's okay. But, yeah, like being able to just hunker down with Francis, who I still think is like, I'm so glad we have each other kind of situation, because I don't think Francis has ever told me that, or that they're dating now behind my back. No.
Unfortunately, that's the one thing I definitely can't do.
Okay.
I can't have Francis dating Miranda behind your back.
Okay. All right.
Unless you both agree to it.
Wait. So what did we establish here? Because I had to step away for a second.
So we were establishing that like for the last 15 years or so, I've just been like putting my head down and working because that all fell apart. And I was like, well, at least I have Francis, like that's so great. And also I wanted to establish we probably didn't have any kids, right? Like that was just
if anything, that might have been a point of contention where one person might have wanted them and the other person was just like, no.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That would be another I could see that being a thing.
Yeah.
Such good story sauce.
Mm-hmm.
No better drama than sports drama. So but yeah, like so definitely please continue. Sorry, I'll go off on a tangent.
Well, so then the question is, do we want to have Miranda and Francis secretly dating at this point because that's the worst timeline.
I feel
Yeah.
like rather than like having them like full on dating, maybe they haven't dated yet, but they've like reconnected.
Yeah. They've
And
been
slowly-
messaging on
Yeah, make it
Facebook.
some front story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like they're kind of building up to that. They're very much like they've realized that there's chemistry, they have a lot in common. There are things that could make this potentially like a thing that occurs, but I don't think like full on dating behind your back.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily
But
happening
reconnecting.
yeah, but definitely reconnection, discovering like, hey, we have a lot in common. Why didn't I see this before? That kind of situation.
Yeah.
But on that note, not to bring it back to the divorce drama, I would like to pitch another thing that I was thinking of.
Do it.
In our last fight, what were the things that we said to each other that kind of stuck with us?
I think Tanner probably, I don't know that I want a good quote, but like Tanner probably would have said something about why you don't want kids. You know, because Tanner's coming at this as like, I know what would solve our marriage. Kids.
Children.
Children. What?
Why traumatize ourselves when we can traumatize others?
Audience.
Yay.
Tanner was wrong. Okay. So I think that's Tanner's, like, he thinks about that every night and, like, you know, should take it back, but isn't gonna.
How do y'all's moms feel about this? I'm sorry. How did they allow
Oh my
Tanner
god. Yeah.
to act a fool like this?
Yeah.
Mrs. and Mrs. Harrington-Coates, what have you done?
Yeah, I mean, they are not proud of him for this. This is bad.
I think the last thing Miranda said to Tanner in that last fight, like especially after a dig like that, like, oh, this, you know, we could have just had kids. I think that she pretty much told him that he was like essentially that he was like kind of, I don't know, I would love to say this in a way that's articulate and everyone go, oh, there's no way to say it with it. I can't think of it right now. That hit like maybe if he had just gotten into the Olympics, things would be different.
Yeah. Maybe if you got
I like
good.
this was a place of extreme, like they were just pushed each other into this place of extreme anger. And I do think that maybe like, especially because she's done therapy and stuff, she probably does feel really bad for saying that and like for hitting such a sore spot. But like they're not talking to each other anymore. So she's kind of seeing it as like, well, this happened. I feel shitty about it. And should I apologize to him? Yes. Am I going to? Probably not, because we're not. I don't want to see him. Live your life as far away from me as possible. You know?
Yep.
I think this is a great place for us to end today, everyone.
Yay!
Do we get to find out what we are?
No. Anyway.
Wait, that
We'll
would
do
be
it
really
off
helpful.
camera, because I have to ask a few.
Oh, not on camera. Okay.
But also, we're running out of time.
Okay, true. That is true.
We will discover everyone's roles and everything else next week. Next 2 weeks, because I'm away next week.
Oh,
For
yeah,
the
we're
first
off next
session
week.
of what I've now titled session what's called Return to Riley. Raelis?
Raelis.
Raelis. We'll figure it out.
We'll get it right eventually.
Return
let's do
to
a wrap up then,
Raelis.
shall we? Thank you very much, audience, for watching this lovely episode, or listening to this episode of Happy Study Podcast, episode 0 of Return to Raelis of the ttrpg, starring me. Hi. I'd like to thank our chat mods for all their incredible hard work. I'd like to thank all our amazing patrons who keep us ad-free and independent. It's because of you that we are able to play games we enjoy without worrying about publishing companies or system popularity. And any of you who feel like helping us out can join the heroic ranks at happydoc.org/patron. I've been Lloyd. I've been running the game and going backwards in introduction themselves. Reintroduce yourselves, Noir.
Hello, everybody. I'm Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the Noirenigma. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Blue Sky. In just an hour here, you'll be able to find me over on Gen Con their Twitch channel where I'll be hosting Table Takes, the TTRPG news show, where we let you know all about the stuff that's going down in the TTRPG space. But that's me.
Sam.
Again, role-playing performer, variety streamer, science communicator. You can find me about the Twitcher net on twitch.tv/Delevely. That's DELEVELY, as well as on YouTube, where every week I talk about a recently published scientific finding that made me go like, hang on, wait, what? Such things as like making sweaters out of aerogel? How come poison dart frogs don't poison themselves with their poison? And do most of us have more of a capacity for perfect pitch than we thought we might? Find that out and more, youtube.com/@Delevely.
Vixie.
It's Mario. Anyway, hi everybody. My name is Vixie Bell. I have been your friendly neighborhood player here at the Happy Jacks table. You can find me everywhere on the internet in two places. You can find me at Vixie Bell or at Vixie Bell Cosplay, or at the Pocket Dragon Pub, which is Pocket Dragon Pub on all socials, and on Twitch at the Pocket Dragon Pub. Currently, we are participating in the Roll for Wishes event, where we raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So our game suite is announced on social media. Please make sure to check it out. I look forward to seeing you. I've got some very exciting games that I'm going to be running, and we've invited a lot of guest GMs to come help and run games as well. So yeah, that's everywhere you can find me.
And finally, Jason.
Hello. My name's Jason. You can follow me at It's Probably Okay on Twitch and Blue Sky. I'm technically on Twitter, but I mean, I think we're doing away with that. I stream on my channel Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, I guess not Fridays currently, but we'll figure that out going forward. And you can check out the game I made at probablyokgames.com, home of the okayest games around. So that's everything I've got.
All right then. Join us in 2 weeks' time on Friday, same bat time, same bat channel for our next session. If you want to catch up on all past episodes, visit happyjacks.org/return to Riley, because that's the title now. That's how we roll. And if you want to find all the other APs in the Happy Jacks RPG network, please visit happyjacks.org. I have been Lloyd. Thank you for watching and listening, or whatever comes above. Have a great day.
Bye.